Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today I'd like to focus on a man by the name of Simeon. And he comes out in our reading today in connection to his meeting Mary, Joseph, and Jesus at the temple. And this was a man, as it's described here, a man in Jerusalem, and not a ruler, not a Pharisee, not a political person, not a religious figure per se, but just a man. But this man was righteous and devout, it says in verse 25 of Luke chapter 2. He was living a righteous life and living in devotion to God. And he was a man who had the Holy Spirit upon him. It says, and the Holy Spirit was upon him in the latter part of verse 25. That was a very rare thing back then. He was under the old covenant before the pouring out of the Holy Spirit, but yet still he had the Holy Spirit upon him. Which was a wonderful thing. He was also a man who was a man who was living by faith. He says he was looking for the consolation of Israel. He was a person who was looking ahead to and forward to the time in which God would send forth the Messiah who would bring consolation to the nation being under duress, being under the Roman government, was looking for consolation, looking for the Messiah to come and bring them relief. But he was also a person who held Jesus very close. It says in verse 27, and he came in the Spirit into the temple. And when the parents brought in the child Jesus to carry out for him the custom of the law, then he took him into his arms. He didn't just pronounce this prophecy that he would speak in verses 29 through 32 at a distance. He didn't just see Jesus and kind of from far away speak concerning him, but he actually took Jesus in his arms and held him close. And then he blessed God. He worshiped God. That's also contained in verse 28. And so here you have a man who's just an average person, an average Israelite, we could say, or average Jew, who was living a righteous life, who was under the influence of the Spirit, walking by faith, holding Jesus close, and worshiping God. And that's a perfect description of what you and I and all of us as Christians should be doing on a day-to-day basis. It might be that we too are just men or women, just average people, not of political significance, perhaps not CEOs of companies or really anything of high position concerning the world. But we can be distinguished by these things that Simeon was distinguished by living a righteous and devout life to God, by walking under the influence of the Holy Spirit, by being people who walk by faith and not by sight, and people who hold Jesus close. Not just worship Jesus at a distance, but strives to bring Christ in close to their hearts. And then also people who worship the Lord, who bless God because of the wonderful blessings they have experienced. And so this Simeon, who met Jesus as Jesus was a baby, becomes for us a beautiful picture of the type of people that would be produced through the life, the death, the resurrection, and ascension of this little child that he held in his arms. And hopefully each and every one of us can model that, can follow in the example of Simeon, and live a life in accordance to the example he gave. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.